What's the subject today, Dean? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to be talking about shocking mistakes that could ruin your retirement.
Oh no, it's not another.
I think it might be one of those, Norm?
Oh no.
It's
But before we get there, Tim, why don't we just tell everybody who we are?
Yes. So we are Tina and Norm, and we talk all things retirement and travel and lifestyle.
And if you're new to the channel, we would appreciate if you would consider subscribing to us. It helps our channel get out to a wider YouTube audience.
Yes.
So, shocking mistakes that will financially ruin your retirement. Sounds serious.
It could be, Norm? And one of them is about whether you co-sign for a loan. Now, this could be for a house, a boat, basically anything that possibly one of your family members can't afford on their own.
Mm-hmm. Like a new car or something like that.
Oh, yeah, a new car. So asking you to co-sign is one thing. But what a lot of people don't realize is that they're actually taking on the liability and responsible for the whole loan, that if the member doesn't pay for any reason, you're on the hook to pay for it.
So although it's their car, their boat, their house, in theory, it's your loan, even though you're just the co-signer. So we think that if you're in retirement on a fixed income, it's quite dangerous to do that.
Yes, we do.
So, co-signing, big no, no, no. Are you owned by your house? I think a lot of us have had a family home, maybe 3 or 4, and we loved our houses. We raised our families. They have emotional attachments to it. But as you're getting older, does the house start to own you instead of you owning the house? And by this, what we mean is unexpected expenses. Houses grow old, they need maintenance, especially if you want to hold their value. You have to keep the upkeep. We were into new roofs, garage doors, windows for the whole house.
Oh, there was a lot of things we had to do.
Every 2 years we had to stain the deck. A snowblower and lawn tractor that we had, they only last 10 years, and then you have to buy a new one. And don't make the mistake of saying, okay, we'll downsize and we'll go get a condo, because the condominium fees are unpredictable. While you can see what they are when you go into it, if that building needs some major renovation, maybe a new roof or new windows in that, and the condominium corporation doesn't have enough money in the kitty, then you're going to get a bill in the mail that you're going to have to pay. And we have had 2 friends that this has happened to, where they've had bills of $10,000 and $25,000. So it can be dangerous, and that can derail your retirement finances in a heartbeat. Absolutely. That's why Tina and I, what do we do, Tina?
We rent, Norm?
We do, and we let somebody else pay for the repairs.
Yes, that's very true.
We know that every month the money that comes in with our pensions is for us, not for the house.
Another danger to your retirement is if your grown-up children come back to actually live with you. A lot of people aren't realizing just how much financially this could affect you, that suddenly that budget that you had could suddenly be costing you a lot more, couldn't it, Norm?
And don't forget, Tina, the divorce rate is staggeringly high. So the chances of one of your children coming back to bail out on a marriage is about a 1 in 2. According to the national divorce rates. So you could well be on the hook for paying for another adult to live in your house. So that's more pressure on your finances, because the chances are your grown-up child is coming back probably not particularly well off financially.
They
So,
probably have money problems, don't they?
so they're expecting you to pick up the pieces for them, and this could run to paying for lawyers for divorce settlements and all sorts of things, especially if there's children involved. So grown-up children coming back to live with you is another strain on your retirement finances, and something you should think about. Oh, have I got a deal for you, teen? This is a surefire deal. It will make you a millionaire.
Ooh, I like those sort, Norm.
Well, if you have a family member comes to you and says something similar to that, you don't want to be investing in that.
No.
Oftentimes it'll be a surefire thing. It'll be just lend the money, get in early. We're going to have amazing returns. Yeah. We're going to pay you 20%, etc. You might as well go and buy some swampland in Florida, because you're never going to see your money back.
No, you could kiss it goodbye, hey?
And when you consider, there's something like after 3 years, 90% of all new businesses have failed. So if you have a family member say they have a surefire investment and they just need just a little 50,000 from you, run.
Yeah, run and kind of tell them where the banks are, and they're on the high street, and perhaps that's what they should be going and looking at for their new venture.
Unless you can afford to lose the full amount of money, because the chances are you will.
Mm-hmm.
There is an absolute classic, and that is, you've been the leader of your family, both you and your partner, mum and dad. You've had your family, they've grown up, and they've always seen you as head of household. Go to a restaurant, who pays the bill? Oh, mum and dad do.
Yeah.
Well, this is all well and good, but once now you're into retirement, you're on a fixed income, and you can maybe get one of those big family gatherings. Both your children are there, their spouses are there, your grandchildren are there. You go to a nice restaurant, because who wants to do the cooking at home?
Right.
It's a nice treat.
Yeah.
Well, when that bill comes, all eyes turn to you, because your kids expect you to pay it.
And they've been used to it, haven't they?
All their lives. Yeah. But this is something you're going to have to get out of. Once again, you're not earning a salary that you used to. You're on a fixed income. So perhaps you do pay the bill, but you could perhaps tell your family gathered there that you're quite happy to pay this bill.
Yeah.
And next time, perhaps it'll be one of you paying it.
Yeah. So that everybody kind of takes turns.
And just remind people, you're on a fixed income pension, and you don't have as much money free as you used to. So paying for all the family get-togethers at restaurants is something you're going to have to break the habit of if you want to hold on to more money in retirement.
Yeah, start new things going forward, hey?
Exactly.
Another one of those things that you need to be aware of is if you decide to take your Social Security early, and that would be taking it in the US at 62, or if you wanted to take your CPP in Canada, you would be able to take that at 60. So bear in mind that, yes, you are going to take a lower amount, aren't you? But you're going to start it earlier, so you will get it for longer.
So if you're a low-income person and you're struggling to pay your bills, perhaps taking it early might just give you that extra cash flow that you need to be able to pay for everything. But if you don't desperately need it, it's well worthwhile putting it off until you're 70 or 72 years of age. And you'll get substantially more. But we took it early because we just wanted the cash flow. And we also, who knows how long you have in retirement? How long are we going to live? And we just wanted to make sure we got that money before anything happened to either one of us. That was our motivator. But we were aware we would get what, 40% less?
A smaller amount.
By the time we got to our 70s.
Yeah.
Another big pitfall that could potentially be a problem for you in retirement, and we might even go as far to say that it will happen to you in retirement, is a child or a family member, chances are a child or a grandchild, will come to you and ask you for a loan because they can't afford something. We see that as it's never a loan, because the chances are they're not going to pay it back. The only way for you to consider that is, can you afford it? Will it impact your ability to live?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can afford it, make it a gift, because you can write down loan documents, you can get them to sign.
Yeah.
But if they were creditworthy, if they were trustworthy, the bank would give them the money. But the chances are they've had financial problems in the past, they haven't paid their bills, maybe they've got into some type of financial distress. And so you're the bank of dad. Yeah. You're the last resort. We're saying give it as a gift.
Yeah.
Because if you try and have that come back, it'll destroy your relationship with your child or your grandchild. Isn't that true, Dean?
Yeah. So if it is something that crops up and you can afford to give it as a gift with no strings attached. Don't do it as a loan.
No, because it will never work. So many things that can derail erode your retirement finances. It's just staggering.
There are.
But we're just trying to make you aware of the various pitfalls that you could encounter. We're not saying they are going to.
No.
A big one, though, especially for baby boomers, and that's Tina and I in our early 60s. If you are going to rely on an inheritance to fund your retirement, we think that's potentially a dangerous thing to do. We got a small inheritance on one side of our family, and on the other side we didn't. We weren't looking for that to fund our retirement. Whatever we got, we were grateful for, and it was a bonus. Mm-hmm. But if your retirement planning is based around you getting an inheritance from your parents, we think that you should maybe have a different plan in place, just in case. You don't know, there might be a long lost relative that shows up at the time. Or you might have sibling rivalry, which could result in you not getting your inheritance that your parents think you're going to get. These things do happen.
Yeah, so it could end up being quite disastrous for you, couldn't it? If that's something you're relying on, it's just not a good idea.
Don't solely rely on an inheritance to fund your retirement. Look at other ways to save and invest money.
So even though there can be pitfalls that could ruin your retirement, we want everybody to embrace their retirement and look at it for, it's your future, it's the next chapter in your life that can be very exciting. And you don't have to be traveling like us. If you're happy staying at home and golfing and gardening and things, that's perfectly okay too. Everybody will find their own way of finding what their happy retirement is, won't they, Norm?
They really will, Tina. It's the next stage of life. You've earned your retirement. Don't feel guilty about it, and don't be derailed by your children or your grandchildren with things that can put your finance in jeopardy. That's all that we're saying, is be aware that when you start to hear some of the points that we've been through today, it might just make you think a little bit more. So, is that it, team?
I think we've pretty much covered it there, Norm.
So we didn't get too shocked.
No. And we do hope that everybody is staying safe.
And keeping well.
And until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.